Yeah, exciting time.
What's the latest with Barkov?
Well, he's good. He's out there going pretty hard at it today. There is a chance that he could play Saturday. I think right now, more likely it'll be Monday. But if he comes off today and he feels good, then we're pretty confident that it'll be Monday.
And I know sometimes you like to get a guy in a full practice before he gets in.
We
Doesn't
won't.
seem like you have a full practice to get him in,
We
right?
we don't. We have very little practice time. We won't get much until kind of mid-November when we come back from Finland. So, but he's not 22, right? And he's really in tune to his body. He works hard off the ice all summer. He can get all the conditioning he needs, and then we can also keep him in a bit more of a controlled environment. He's out there cutting hard in the corners, and Gadjevich is leaning on him. So he'll know if he's ready to go.
Did you eye this trip like maybe a game or two before you guys went to Finland as the timeline right away when you went out? Was that one of the things you were looking at? Just make sure we want him to play in Finland if he's ready, but get him a game before maybe?
No, the structure of our season had nothing to do with when we would feel he's ready. Like we're not holding him out. That's the doctor's call and Sasha's call, and they'll make a good one. So if he could get in Saturday, we play him Saturday, and we're not holding him out Monday to make sure he gets to Finland.
Did you get the sense he was going to do whatever it took to be ready for Finland?
I don't think it's changed at all for him. Like he wants to play Saturday if he could. If he was ready, he would. I think it's not an injury that by the time we get there, he's not before our original prediction. So he's well within what we thought it would be the window, and we wouldn't let him play in Finland if he wasn't right.
We saw it against Boston and Vegas, but what is it about these playoff rematches that brings out the best in this team?
It's the memory, because you remember the New York Rangers playoff game and Boston's playoff game and Vegas's playoff game, and those are really intense, very fast, hard-fought games. You don't remember any of the regular season games against them. So the energy is built in through the memory of how these games are played between these two teams. And we had some really good contests during the year with them, but the playoff game was completely different.
You've had more with Boston,
Yeah.
playoff wise, but this was for the cup. Do they kind of equal out? Not the number of games, but the stage.
The stage, conference final. I'm going to hurt your feelings. No, the two Boston series that we had were the two heaviest series I've ever seen. The hitting, I believe, in game one 2 years ago, there were 86 hits, and they were all legitimate. It wasn't drive-bys. And that went 7 games. And then the next year, the only difference was it was way meaner on both sides, right? There was an anger between the benches at that point. So this series, it's funny because I just went back and watched Game 5 this morning, how close it was, right? So when you have success, you look back and think, man, we were great for 2 months. That game was so close. That Game 5, they get up 1-0. Sergei made 3 really good saves. I think his performance was slightly underappreciated. It's not a shot. It's just Igor's performance was so brilliant. Why we understand that, but Sergei Bobrovsky was fantastic in that series as well, and that thing kind of turned on every shot.
Why that game? Why did you watch that
The
game?
whole match, right? This is a road game for us. Game 5 was a road game, so just watching how they run their bench, things like that.
Okay.
Is there an automatic different, fresher confidence because you won here on October 24th that you see in the team?
Neither. We haven't really spent much time as a team yet. We brought in Thomas Nosek, and we lost him in the first exhibition game, and then Barkey went down and Chucky went down. Gadjevich went down. So we haven't had them on the ice yet together. So we're a pretty focused group on today, and that would be something that we would have talked about right from day one. We're only going to deal with the day that we have. We're not going to spend much time talking about the ones 2 months ago or wait for what you think will be a playoff berth, because you look at the division that we're in right now, and it's not gifted to anybody.
Well, you've done these Europe trips at the
Yeah.
start of the season and during the season.
Right.
You're doing one during the season now. Which do you like better?
I would take either.
For the
I
team
wouldn't-
purposes. I mean.
Yeah, I don't mind it a little bit later. So I think this one of the two that I went on was like November 10th. For me, that's a little bit late. So this one, right at the turn, October, November, we're just coming together. It's a great time to do something unique. I wouldn't want it much later. just because the more games you have in front of the trip, the more fatigue stacks up on you, and then this can be a tough one, right? It can be a tough turnaround. But I think it's really outweighed by the experience is fantastic. They do an incredible job. The fans are unbelievably appreciative, and this is a bit of a fairy tale global series. We've got 4 really important Finnish players on team. Pete's got 3 on his team. Sasha's going to bring the Stanley Cup into his hometown. So this is almost. I think our guys are more happy for him than he is necessarily happy. He's happy he's going. He's excited. It's a dream come true. But I think our guys feel like they get to be a part of watching those 4 guys really enjoy their time.
Do you get a sense now, because there's been so many games and there's been so many players that have said in the NHL, including one in your locker room in Lundell, hey, I was in the stands.
Yeah.
He was in the stands with the Winnipeg game.
Right. Toddy Laine scored 3.
Scored 3.
Right. We had no business winning that game. But we lost the other one. Sorry, your question's way better than my answer. We lost the other. We had no business losing the other one. So it was really exciting hockey there.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about it on the ice. You know, he's watching, Barkov and Patty Laine go head to head. And what an exciting, inspiring thing for a young man. And then play with one and against the other.
And the same thing happened to Pasternak in Czech Republic.
Right.
Dudas, all this. As a coach, seeing all these world-class Europeans come in, do you get a sense of the payoff of what this series has become?
I'm sure that's true, but my sense going over there, and this is also true of my experience in Russia for the year, and it's not arrogance on our part, but in Canada, they're pretty sure hockey's their game, and in the States, it's grown so big, there's so many kids. You possibly could underestimate the passion for the sport until you get over there. And they love it. The Finns love the game every single bit as much as we love it in Canada and the States. And that's nice for everybody to see. For those young people then, and they get to watch TV, but it is a different thing, right, to be in the building when that happens. So I think it must be very, very inspiring for those kids.
Any lineup changes tonight, Coach?
No.
Probably not.
Correct.
How close is Nosha to?
Yeah, we think he's ready for the game 1 of the Global Series. That's what we're shooting for.
This time of year, players and coaches are always saying, we're building something, we're building
Right.
something. You guys have built it over the past 2 years. Is that now a standard for these new guys to set, or are you feeling that you're still building something?
It has to be rebuilt every year, not torn down. There's a foundation that you'd like to think is not so much set. It's put in place. We would say maybe the blueprint's there, but you get new lumber every year. So you've got to build that thing from the start over again. Now, we know where the walls are going. We know where the kitchen's going to be. We've done that for a couple of years. But we got to build it from the ground. We got to put the cement in during training camp and then build it over the course of the year. The new guys will come in and just be a part of that process. So we will learn this all, even though maybe you've gone through the lesson before. You learn it for the first time together every year. We've got some adversity now. We don't. I mean, the analytics are not pretty on our game. We've got lots of work to do with our game, but we'll do it all together.
Important question. How do you pack for a trip that's this
2 bags. I got a North American bag and a Finnish bag, and I got a 4-wheel drive, and I got an only 2-wheeler on the other one. So that's how I pack.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.